Before we begin, viewer discretion is advised. This is for entertainment and educational purposes. Only what you're about to hear was not supposed to exist. It wasn't leaked by a hacker. It wasn't found in a raid. It was forwarded accidentally by an intern on Taylor Swift's Eras tour team to the wrong federal contact. And now it's part of the case against Swift Diddy. Combs' courtroom was dead silent when the email chain hit the screen, not because of what it said, but because of who it included. It started as a logistics memo, subject line VIP review Nashville plus Tampa, but buried 12 emails deep was a line in red send the scout names directly to LA. Mark Combs, the HY judge, leaned forward. A gallery froze because no one was supposed to see that word, not in this case, not connected to her. But now it was at Taylor Swift a tour, and a roster of scouted VIPs routed straight to Diddy's Team 3 prosecution requested immediate sealed review, but it was too late. The document had already been marked Exhibit 42A, and the courtroom screen was still glowing. Flashback 2023 Eras tour launch. At first, no one noticed the Eras tour was the biggest thing on earth, sold-out stadiums, viral TikTok celebs in every city. But one tour assistant noticed something strange. In almost every major stop, a man with no crew badge would stand near the backstage VIP check-in, same hat, same glasses, never smiled, never clapped, but always watching. His name was never on the roster. He didn't appear in credential scans, but he always showed up in the security photos like clockwork, just out of frame. And then he vanished until the Nashville incident. And just a reminder, every deleted tweet, fake statement, and PR cover-up takes hours to piece together. If you want to help this channel keep going, hit that join button and become a member. We'll keep exposing what they won't. Leaked internal email tools and newly hired social coordinator had mistakenly BCCD the full routing list to an inactive management account. One still linked to a prior Swift LLC archive. The IE archive was subpoenaed 2 weeks later during an unrelated investigation into Diddy's past event sponsors, which is how the email resurfaced and why the phrase scout names was now federal property. In court day 3 testimony, the witness took the stand. Name redacted, formerly VIP coordinator for the Aries Tour Southeast leg. She spoke calmly until she was asked about the scout list. I thought it was for fan experiences. I didn't know those names weren't making it to the meet and greets. A prosecutor paused. Where did those names go? They went west. That's what they told me. Send them west. But I asked once, just once, and I got a warning. The judge interrupted, asked if she remembered the wording. She nodded. The message said, "Stars don't look back, neither should you." And then the room fell completely silent. A screen flashes with 3 redacted names under scouted Nashville. One girl went viral for attending 2 shows and deleted her socials. Another applied for a backup dancer slot and was denied for being too visible. The third name hasn't posted since July 2023. Courtroom Day 4 prosecution introduces Exhibit 42. The courtroom lights dimmed slightly as a new piece of evidence was wheeled in a red scuffed Pelican case. Inside it, a solid-state drive labeled "Only Miami Night 6 Combs." The drive had been recovered not from an office, not from a computer, but from a locker of a former security consultant now cooperating with federal agents. The man named sealed used to run private protection for Diddy during celebrity convergence weekends at luxury mansions across the U.S. One of those weekends, May 2023, Miami. Taylor Swift's tour had just passed through Florida, and the drive contained something even the FBI hadn't expected: a folder titled Scout Sync, and inside it, video logs, video log, playback, court audio, transcript, clip 3AO. This is confirmation. Swift VIP pulls are clean, forwarded to Shell East. List contains initials TS flag. Don't touch her, she's eat right now. The room froze, not because Taylor was named as a participant, but because she was being discussed like a known variable and neutral asset in a system she never knew existed. She's heat right now, don't touch her, let her work. That phrasing triggered a doctrine-level review in court. Because if Taylor Swift was referred to as heat, it implied something even darker, that they had tried before and been warned off. Witness number 12, former security contractor. The man testifying had spent 3 years in the background working private gigs from Atlanta to Ibiza until one compliance trip landed him in a house with no exits on the bottom floor. He told the court that celebrities were often marked for their influence yield, especially if they had toll-based infrastructures, huge moving teams. Density stops high fan turnover. It's a machine, and Taylor's tour was the biggest one. When asked directly, was she involved, he shook his head. No, but she made it easier for them, and I don't think she knew. Prosecutors displayed an architectural map of a house in Star Island previously listed as a Combs family production retreat. In the guest record recovered from the security firm's logs, there was a name half-scribbled that resembled someone from Taylor's inner circle. She never went in, but her team did. The jury gasped, and when pressed further, the witness said something that shocked even the judge. I think they were hoping she'd be the new cover video from her Taylor Swift tour stop posted by fan in Tampa went viral again after it was referenced in court. In the video, a woman with a clipboard whispers something to a man in a gray hoodie. Then the girl filming gets tapped on the shoulder and asked to delete her video. She didn't. That's how it resurfaced now, nearly a year later, as proof that Diddy scouts were on site. Prosecutors closed the session by submitting one final image still from security footage. A girl around 19 walking past the Aries Tour Stadium loading zone. She waves at a tour truck, then disappears around the side entrance. Her name matches one from the original Scout Sync folder. She hasn't posted online since August 2023, and she wasn't a fan. She was working intern credential logged in Swift's backstage check-in system. Now gone. If part 1 was about an email and part 2 about a tape, part 3 was about a color specifically red. Prosecutors unveiled a photo collage during the morning session. 6 pictures. 6 different girls, 6 different cities, all wearing the same shade of red wristband, not sold to the public, not distributed by Ticketmaster, and never officially explained by the Aries Tour team. The defense tried to dismiss it as fan merchandise until the prosecution dropped Exhibit 42C, an internal text message export from a fan engagement partner previously contracted to promote Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. The name of the sender redacted, but the text they weren't push Crimson 10 only to final shortlist do not sync to merch list. It routes directly to Pulse. Confirmed VIPs received night 2 invite group text only, no individual comms. Diddy wants models age ceiling. Chopman 25. The courtroom gasped because now it wasn't vague, now it was personal, direct, documented. The prosecution clarified Pulse was the internal label for a Combs linked private event system used to organize models, dancers, and press staffers. That system was not affiliated with Taylor Swift, her tour, or her management. But the girls who got that text, they thought they were selected fans. They weren't. They were targets. She took the stand holding back tears. Her daughter, 20 at the time, had entered a VIP fan lottery through an Instagram link reposted by a page called Swift Surprise Events. The page has since been deleted. Its contact info links back to a Combs global digital marketing shell. Her daughter received a red wristband in the mail. No branding, no card, just an address. We thought it was for a secret acoustic set. Died mother said she never made it to the concert. The courtroom went silent. The prosecutor showed a timestamp security still of her daughter entering a private gate near the Aries Tour Stadium in Dallas. She is not seen leaving. Investigators revealed a shock discovery late in the day. One of the girls on the red wristband list was listed as crew at a 2022 Diddy Fashion Line event in Malibu. She was 19, unpaid, and registered under now defunct model agency. The agency shared a bank account with Pulse Guest Relations. It wasn't just scouting, it was network building. They were building a system using Taylor Swift's tour stops as harvesting points. The prosecution asked the FBI profile on site for interpretation. She said red is used in asset movement to flag early acceptance. It's discreet, it reads as aesthetic, but it tells handlers who's been tapped. The red wristbands were tracking devices, passive RFID low power tags. That's how they knew where to go next. One final name was displayed on projector. A girl from Atlanta, Swift superfan, wore a red wristband, documented it on TikTok, then deleted her entire account 2 days later. A federal subpoena recovered her DMs. The last message he sent, he said, "I reminded him of Cassie." Courtroom Day 6 new name revealed in cross-examination. By now every person in the courtroom was used to hearing the unexpected, but no one expected Ariana Grande. She wasn't on the tour, she hadn't been part of the logistics, she wasn't even in the same genre, or so it seemed. But when the prosecution began cross-examining a digital systems analyst brought in to review the back end of a now-defunct promotional firm tied to Combs Global, they pulled up Exhibit 42FA file marked AG guest clause. Carryover from Crimson. The analyst was asked directly, what does this clause reference? He flipped through the pages at a retention marker designed to transfer active tracking tags from one tour to another without the primary artist's knowledge. The prejudge raised an eyebrow. So you're saying Ariana Grande's team inherited tracking data from Taylor Swift's tour? Yes, Your Honor. And I don't believe either of them knew courtroom footage cuts to recovered footage of a luxury hotel rooftop. Ariana was in town for a private Fashion Week event that same night, too. Girls seen previously on Taylor's red wristband shortlist were photographed entering the Ye Hotel via service elevator. They never attended the fashion event. They were on a separate guest list, the same list Diddy's private security kept labeled as carryovers. Swift AGD, a quiet man, took the stand. He'd worked dozens of events, but this one stuck with him. He didn't name names, but when shown photos, he pointed to the same girls again, and again they didn't act like guests. They acted like they'd been summoned. Some were crying. In the hallways, when asked if Ariana was present during these moments, he shook his head. She was performing. She had no idea they were even there in a groundbreaking move. Prosecutors displayed a diagram titled Celebrity Pass-Through Model. Tier 1 talent as visibility shields, a concept used massive tours and appearances by clean, high-profile artists to conceal lower-tier exploitative pipelines. Taylor's Eras tour wasn't a target, it was a delivery vehicle. Diddy's network simply followed the fan trail, picking select names along the way and routing them into other celeb events with none of the celebs ever knowing. And Ariana's event was next on the route. Court record displayed a sponsorship agreement between a fragrance label, and both Taylor and Ariana dated late 2022. The clause flagged by the analyst all-active promo cycle permitted Tier 2 guest data to be read indicated across affiliated live activations. That clause was traced back to a consulting group registered under Combs Tech. Neither Taylor nor Ariana ever signed directly with them, but both had campaigns run by firms that did the prosecution ended the day by playing a voicemail recovered from a burner phone used by a former event wrangler. The voice was male, calm, and unhurried. Grande is safe. Don't worry. She doesn't know. Just keep using the ones from Swift. They're already marked. The judge ordered the recording sealed immediately, but it was too late. The courtroom had already heard the last line. The blonde made it easy. The brunette will keep it quiet. Music. A single image was projected on the courtroom screen. It wasn't graphic, it wasn't explicit, but it was unforgettable. A young woman, Swifty-era outfit, friendship bracelet stacked up her arm, and around her neck a silver cassette tape pendant, not merch, not Etsy. It was real, a functioning cassette carved in, retrofitted into a necklace found at a Nashville boutique hotel in May 2023, left behind on a windowsill. No note, no name. Inside the cassette, a 16-second recording, muffled static female voice. He said, "I got lucky that I'm prettier in person." Pause, breathing. There's someone behind the mirror. I saw the moo click, that's all. But it was enough. The cassette had been tagged as evidence in a missing persons case. Now it was reclassified as part of the federal case against Shaw Combs because a girl wearing that cassette necklace was on the Crimson 10 list from the Nashville show. She checked into the event hotel. She was never seen at the concert. She didn't remember much at first, but when she was shown the girl's photo, she blinked. She asked if she could leave a note, said her mom would come get it. There was no note. But later that night, housekeeping found something else, a red velvet envelope tucked under the bed. Inside, a Taylor Swift concert ticket, a blank wristband, and a torn scrap of paper that read, "I won something I didn't sign up for." Through subpoenas of regional promo agencies, the FBI discovered a shell campaign titled Era Surprise Selection, advertised only through DMs and email blasts. Girls were told they'd won VIP acoustic performance passes, private choreography workshops, intimate soundcheck experiences. The Nashville girl received her invite on May 6, 2023. The agency that sent it no longer exists, but the payout records show funding from a subsidiary under, you guess it, Combs Experience Group. The FBI ran diagnostics on the cassette. Not only did it contain a voice memo, it contained embedded time code use and a now-defunct security system registered to Diddy's private estate. It was one of the backup keys a tech expert testified meant to activate audio locks. The girl probably didn't know the necklace wasn't jewelry. It was part of a recording system used to control room access. Someone gave it to her, or she found it, or worse, she took it with her on purpose. Surveillance shows her entering the hotel alone. A Blurred man follows behind, never identified the hotel, third floor, lost 90 minutes of footage. At night, 2 maids reported a weird smell by room 3 to 12 the next morning. And the last recorded citing a doorman, saying she turned around outside and said, "Tell my mom I saw her favorite song live." But she hadn't. She never got to the venue. He walked in slowly, baseball cap pulled low, hand shaking as he adjusted the MIC. His name was sealed for protection, but the courtroom knew what he was, a backup dancer, not for Diddy, not for Rihanna, for Taylor, specifically for the Southeast leg of the Eras tour, the same stretch already linked to Crimson 10 wristbands, off-books invites, and the Miami folder. He didn't speak at first until the judge asked, "Are you ready?" He nodded once and said 5 words that changed the tone of the trial. "I saw the wrong tape." The dancer had finished sound check. His set was done. He walked backstage to grab a water bottle before heading to his trailer, but the green room was locked. Unusual. When it opened 30 seconds later, a woman in a red dress walked out. He didn't recognize her. She wasn't on the roster, and she wasn't wearing a lanyard. She looked scared. He asked, "You good?" She didn't answer. He walked, and what he saw next wasn't rehearsals. It wasn't prep. It wasn't tour-related at all. A tripod camera, red standby light glowing, a faux interview, set-up black curtain backdrop, a second woman sitting silently, eyes puffy, 2 men in suits by the door on a side table, red folders stacked. The dancer froze. One of the men approached. "You weren't called in, wrong green room. This one's private." The dancer apologized, walked out slowly, but he didn't forget, especially because on his way out, one of the men tossed him a can of sparkling water and said, "Smile next time we tape everything." He didn't speak for a year, but in January 2025, he saw a viral clip online from a court leak involving Diddy's vaults. In the background of the distorted audio, he heard his own voice asking, "You good?" The exact moment he spoke to the girl in the red dress, that's when he realized they weren't just taping them. They were taping us, everyone, all the time across 3 other cities. Miami, Denver, Las Vegas. Hotel staff had documented identical setup, same black curtain, same tripod, same audio equipment, no branding, no explanation. And in all 3 cases, red wristband girls were present that week. Federal analysts ran metadata from the leaked court. Clip tape ID CCR-TG breakdown CC Jancombs catalog R. Patterns red room TG pattern tour guess. That ID format was found on 6 other drives seized during the Diddy case raids, all labeled with different artist initials. None of them were involved knowingly, but one label stood out, TSW1 Taylor Swift red room witness 1. When asked if he'd seen the girl from the green room again, the dancer shook his head no, but 2 weeks later one of our trailers had a fire, just one haze, and when they replaced her, they didn't even tell us her music name. By now the courtroom had seen everything, emails, tapes, witnesses, VIP lists that weren't real fans who never made it to their seats. But Exhibit 42K was different. It wasn't digital, it wasn't a text, it wasn't a tape. It was a burnt piece of cardstock recovered from a trash fire outside a private estate in Brentwood, California, half-torn, edges charred. But one thing remained visible, the invite list, C10 final Nashville drop, and on the back of Swift, lyric handwritten in black ink, "I knew you'd haunt all of my what?" IFS. The invite wasn't sent to a celebrity. It wasn't part of the Aries tour backend. It was mailed to a fan-run Instagram page called Swift Coded, a small account known for decoding lyrics' hidden meanings and visual Easter eggs in Taylor Swift albums. The account had less than 15K followers, mostly harmless content. But what caught the prosecution's attention was one specific post published a full month before the Nashville show. It featured a blurry red envelope and a caption she's not ready for. What's coming red isn't just a color anymore. CM FBI agent called it the most disturbing coincidence they'd seen in the case. Why? Because after subpoenaing the IP logs of the account, they discovered it didn't belong to a fan. It belonged to an account manager at Pulse Events, the same Pulse that routed VIP lists, the same Pulse that ghosted their own legal team, the same Pulse that by that point no longer officially existed. This was a theory page. It was a warning system buried in plain sight. Posted about red bracelets 3 days before the first leaked TikTok mentioned a girl with a real tape. A week before the cassette necklace was found, wrote, "Not every VIP is meant to return. Some are just meant to be seen." The final post dated June 1st. 2023 caption: when the music stops, don't clap, run the account, went arc hours later, never posted again, profile picture, changed to static. In a sealed deposition, Taylor Swift attorneys were asked about the invite list found in Brentwood there. Statement partially redacted included one unforgettable line: Ms. Swift has never knowingly participated nor condoned any activity beyond authorized entertainment programming. Any use of a brand likeness or fan base for exploitative purposes is being investigated. But the next line was the one that landed: if her tour was used as a shield, it will be the last time anyone gets away with it. The prosecution played a final video. A crowd shot from the Nashville-era tour night fireworks cheers. Flashlights, and then for just 1 second in the top corner of the frame, a girl in red, not clapping, not cheering, just walking away. Her wristband glowed, and her face matched one of the names from the Crimson 10 folder. She thought she won something. She won the right to disappear quietly. Music.